Something we always keep hearing about is how Muslims are just terrible when it comes to winning Nobel Prizes, and how Muslims are severely lacking when it comes to the Nobel Prizes. And you know what? I hold my hands up and I agree. There is no argument. When it comes to the Nobel Prizes, when it comes to that area, Muslims are sadly bad when it comes to that area. And that might even be a compliment to just call it bad. It's probably even worse than bad. There is no argument on my part on that. I'm not going to try to defend it. I'm not going to try to argue against it or debate it. I'm not going to try to say it's a conspiracy theory. No, it's none of that. It's true. When it comes to modern achievements, advancements, and all that sort of stuff, Muslims are lagging in that area. No debate, nothing. That's not the point of this video. But what is the point? Now, the problem I see, and this is the problem I have, the problem I have is when someone makes the following argument, and listen carefully. So the person will make the following argument. He will say, look at the Nobel Prizes. Muslims are terrible when it comes to the Nobel Prizes. They never win. They hardly win any of it. They're hardly doing any achievements, advancements in science, maths, technology, all that sort of stuff. They're just bad in it. And this proves that Muslims are just inherently bad and backwards. And this just proves that Islam is the contributing factor to this backwardness. And they need to get rid of it to become advanced. Now, that's what I have a problem with. Because too many people out there link a lack of Nobel Prizes with Muslims to somehow equal this means that Muslims are just inherently backwards the way they are. Just because you're a Muslim, that makes you backwards, and that's because of the religion Islam. Now, that is what I have a problem with. Now, why do I have a problem with that? And why is that argument false? Now, notice the argument that Muslims are lacking in the Nobel Prize, that's true, no debate. The argument that I'm disputing is that because this is Muslims are simply inherently like that because of Islam. You see, there's a distinction. And I'm trying to deal with the second point. Now, the Nobel Prize, ladies and gentlemen, is something fairly new. It's still something fairly recent when you look at it from a historical perspective. It's not that something way in the past. It's still fairly something of our modern era. Now, the Nobel Prize was created during a time when the West was in an advanced period, when the West was in a stage of advancement. And even before the Nobel Prize was created, the West was already in a period of advancement in technology, economics, and basically most fields out there. The West was at the top. And so then they made the Nobel Prize during this same time. You see? Basically, the Nobel Prize was made when they became successful. When they weren't successful, there was no such thing as a Nobel Prize. Now, another point. The Muslims had their golden age. There was a time when the Muslims were the kings of the earth, when they were the top, when they were the ones making all the advancements in math, science, astronomy, philosophy, literature, and all those fields, biology, chemistry, physics, and economics, all of that. There was a time when the Muslims were at the top. Now, if we had Nobel Prizes back then, when the Muslims were in their golden age, then Muslims would literally win every one of them every year. But there was no Nobel Prize back then. In fact, if we had YouTube back then, we could make videos. We could have a Muslim Pat Condell putting Westerners down, telling them, oh, where's your Nobel Prizes? The same argument could have been made. So you see, these things, ladies and gentlemen, come in stages. Each nation has its up and then has its down. And right now, the Muslims are in the down, while others are on the up. While before, it was the Muslims who were at the up and the others were down. I mean, it was called the Dark Ages. the medieval ages, the dark ages. But that's actually false because it wasn't the dark ages for all of humanity. It was just the dark ages for the West. There were other people literally having it amazing. They were living like kings and living the good life. But they didn't make Nobel Prizes for themselves. If they did, they would literally win all of them. So basically, when you want to mock or ridicule a Muslim or the Muslim nation for being bad when it comes to Nobel Prizes, all you're doing is kicking someone while they're on the floor. That's it. It's like someone was successful, then he fell, then you became successful, and now you're kicking him while he's down and hurt. That's all you're doing. And history testifies to that. These things come in stages. And right now, as we're living right now, we're witnessing a new stage because there's a new superpower emerging right now, and it's coming from the East. China. They're the new guys rising right now. The tide is turning, and you can just look at it. Just go look at the economy. Look what's happening. So, again, this is now going to a new stage. But you see people like Pat Condell. I always mention him because he just summarizes everything so good. People like Pat Condell don't know anything about history. They don't really know anything about the world and how it works. They sit on their high horses and they think they're so special. They think everything is going to stay like this. Well, I hate to break it to people like Pat Condell. As I said, these things come in stages. So it's not good to be arrogant because arrogance always comes back and bites you in the backside. And that's what's going to happen eventually. But you can still live in your deluded little world and try and like to ridicule people while they're down. But nothing lasts forever. And again, history testifies to that. So, yes, when it comes to modern times, when it comes to right now, Muslims are lagging. They're going through their dark patch, just like the West went through its dark patch during the Dark Ages. It comes in cycles. What goes, comes, goes, comes, goes, comes. It's like a table tennis match. But of course, if you listen to someone like Pat Condell, you never know that. But anyway, that's really about it. And I hope now you understand the context of how these things work. The reason why Muslims aren't winning Nobel Prizes is not because they're just inherently bad or backwards. No, because we have empirical evidence that that's not true, and you can look that up for yourself. And thank you very much, and have a nice day.